How's it going? It's your boy TN Smooth, and I'm back here with another mock draft with you today. So we're just going to be doing first round. Like I said, every week we're going to do a mock draft. We're going to do about three out of the season that are going to be 3 rounds. We already did one of those, so we're going to kind of break them into parts of the season. So far we're in week 12. So I've already done one. Round three, around like week 15 or 16, I'll do another round three, and then around after the end of the season, after the Super Bowl and everything, we'll do another 3 or maybe even 4 round mock draft. But for now, we are just doing the first round. Once again, the first round will come out every week. And then, like I said, whenever the 3 round comes out, it will come out in place of the first round, of course. Alright, so we're going to go on and hop into this. We've got all teams selected, of course. The draft order has changed, and now the Eagles are at the 32 spot after beating the Chiefs. So we will go and enter this draft and start it right up. Alright, so I did subscribe to PFF, so can do trades and stuff now. I did that because I believe that if the Bears are in this position, of course, I think last week they were at pick 5 with their actual pick. Now they're at pick 4. But I believe if the Bears was in this actual position right here, if the season ended today, they had the number 1 pick via the Carolina trade, which is it's insane, honestly, because the Bears had the number 1 pick last year, traded their pick, and then now they get the number 1 pick from the trade that they received from last year. So, they got into this position by trading. But how many times do you get to pick at number 1? Not often. You don't often get to pick at the number 1 spot. So, honestly, I believe, though, if they were at this spot right here at number 1, that they would trade their pick. Maybe not. Maybe they give up on Jalen or on Justin Fields, and they want to bring Caleb Williams or maybe Drake May in. If you want to get Drake May, they'll honestly just trade down to number 2 or something and get more draft picks. The only way that they would keep this number 1 spot is if they wanted themselves to draft Caleb Williams. But if the offer's good enough, you could see them trade. So I have a range for this trade. New England Patriots, they would move up from number 3 overall to number 1 overall, jump the Cardinals, and then they would trade their 3rd overall pick, their 35th overall pick, so their 2nd round pick essentially, and then their 1st round next year. Maybe 2nd round because you're only going up 2 spots, but I'm going to say 1st, and then of course for the Bears 1st. This would allow them to come up and to get Caleb Williams. I believe that the Giants would also be interested in coming up with that number 1 spot and potentially getting Caleb Williams. But I believe that the Patriots will get it done with the Bears before the draft even starts. So this is before the draft starts. So we'll force that trade, and that trade happens, and then we will go in and start our draft up. So then that pushes the Bears down to 3 and 4. Now they're picking 3 and 4 back-to-back picks. And of course, the New England Patriots would have traded up to get Caleb Williams. So that will be their guy going forward. Now it also gets interesting even more because you got now the Cardinals. You got the potential to take Drake May. You got the potential to take Marvin Harrison. I don't think the Cardinals would. I would see the Bears drafting Caleb Williams more than I would see the Cardinals drafting Drake May. Maybe the Cardinals might draft Caleb Williams if they were to trade up with the Bears, but I see Caleb Williams going to the Bears more than I would see Drake May going to the Cardinals. So once again, we are in a position where I think the top 2 teams could trade their picks. Top 2 overall picks could be traded, and I see the Cardinals trading their pick as well. So I have a range for this trade to happen. New York Giants trade their 5th overall, their 37th overall, and then their 1st round next year and their 4th round next year to the Cardinals for their 2nd round pick. And then, of course, they will go up and select Drake May with their selection. So then you see 2 quarterbacks go back to back. You see some trades happening, and I think that's very possible. I think it is very, very possible. The Giants and the Patriots need a new quarterback, and I think it could go down exactly like that. Then of course you have the Bears. I don't think that they would trade down anymore. I think that they take back-to-back picks here, and I think that they take Marvin Harrison Jr. for Justin Fields to have, and I think that they take Fajuna as well, to block for Justin Fields, so he can get the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. If you look, that's exactly how it could go. It's a 1, 2, 3, and 4 guy. It's just going to different teams because certain teams didn't need certain guys. Then you got the Cardinals again. Cardinals traded down. They need a wide receiver, although I don't see them taking a wide receiver with this pick. Potentially they could go for Malik Neighbors. If you're going to do that, they've already built it up on some picks. So if you're going to do that, then what I see happen in this situation is them trading down again. So I've lined up for this trade to happen here. Washington Commanders will trade their 7th overall pick to trade up to number 5 and trade their 2nd round pick so they get the 5th overall pick. And then the Cardinals, of course, will go down to number 7 because the Cardinals can still get their guy at that position there. And then here, obviously, Washington Commanders would take Brock Bowers. They would be trading up to draft Brock Bowers. Tennessee Titans on the board. I see them taking another offensive tackle at this point, and they will take Joe Alt. Definitely need someone to be blocking for them. And then the Cardinals traded down really interesting because they traded all the way down from 2nd to 5th, and then from 5th to 7th. Because what would have happened at this point is they wanted Marvin Harrison. And then if you want him, you got to take him at 2, and then you're paying him way more money than even if you picked him at 3, really. So you trade down to 5. Then when it gets down to 5, you're hoping maybe the Bears pass on Marvin Harrison or trade their pick again. They don't do it. So then you're stuck with Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze or who? Let's see who the other receivers are here are. Keen Coleman, Emeka Egbuka. So really you're stuck with Malik Neighbors or Rome if you want to go that way too. But you don't pick Rome at 5 because you know that you could probably still get him at 7 or 8 or maybe even 9 and save money. So, and that's exactly what they do. They go down to 7 again, and then they finally get a great wide receiver, in my opinion, in Malik Neighbors. And then you've got the Falcons here. And the Falcons, of course, they do need a quarterback, but no real quarterbacks you could take here. You could trade down and maybe get one, but I see them just taking Latua from UCLA and adding him onto their defense there. And then you got the Green Bay Packers. I don't know why it says they need a QB. I think that Jordan Love is doing okay. He's not doing the greatest, but I think he's doing okay. But I see them taking Jason Newton from University of Illinois. Then you got the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are in an interesting spot as well. need a lot of pieces to become a contender again. There's a lot of guys that they could go with here, but ultimately I see them deciding with going on Kool-Aid McKinstry. I see him going to the warm state of Florida and playing for the Buccaneers. You got the New York Jets. New York Jets need a quarterback. Besides Aaron Rodgers, he's not going to be playing forever, maybe another year or two, but you got a couple good edge rushers on here, a couple good wide receivers. Honestly, I see them taking Rome and bringing him on as a weapon for Aaron Rodgers and maybe even Zach Wilson if Aaron Rodgers doesn't continue to play much longer. Los Angeles Chargers, I see them going with Nate Wiggins, adding him on. You could trade down and still get him probably, but I see them picking him at number 12 there. Rams, they definitely need a quarterback to take over for when Matthew Stafford is gone. Matthew Stafford had that one good year there, and now he's not really doing so hot. But you got some great edge rushers on the board, and I see them actually taking Dallas Turner, so he would be the first edge rusher to go in this draft. Then you got the Raiders. At this point, They do need to fill a couple roles. Um, not a great running back class at all. Um, I honestly see them taking Talise from the University of Oregon State. Then you got the Colts. I would see the Colts, even though it says they need a wide receiver and all that. I would see the Colts taking Chop Robinson from the University of Penn State. He keeps wearing that blue. Then you got the Broncos on here. They definitely need another edge rusher, so they would take Jared Verse from University of Florida State there. The Bengals, they need an offensive tackle. J.C. Latham from the University of Alabama comes in. They've needed an offensive line improvement for the last couple of years now, so it's not surprising to see that. Now you got the Bills on the board. They need a wide receiver, and I know I always go with Keon Coleman because I feel like he fits their scheme. But I'm going to go a little bit different this time. I'm going to go a little bit different. They do need an offensive tackle. They do need a linebacker as well, but there's not many great linebackers in this draft class. Honestly, they could take Amarius Mims from the University of Georgia. He'd be able to block for them as well. And I know a lot of people say, oh, well, a lot of the offensive linemen are gone. A lot of the offensive tackles are gone by pick 12. Not true. Because you still got Talise, you still got JC, you still got Marius Mims, you still got Joe Alt, you still got, you got a lot. You got like 5 or 6. There's no way that they're going to be gone. Plus, you got some other skill positions that, like Malik Neighbors, Brock Browers, Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake May, and Caleb Williams. There's no way that they're going to be in there. You're going to be in play for them as long as you're in the top 15, 16 picks. In this case, even in the top 20, maybe. The Saints need an offensive tackle, but I don't see them taking Graham Burton at 19. Could trade down. Maybe take Leonard Taylor. And I'm actually going to do that. The Saints are going to make a trade with the Seattle Seahawks. 22nd overall for 19 overall, so the Seahawks move up 2 spots. And then the Saints also get their 3rd round pick next year. I'm also going to throw in a pick this year as well, 156 for the Seahawks as well. And then the Seahawks will take Braylon Trice with that pick. So they will get an edge rusher out of that pick as well. Then you got at number 20, you got the Minnesota Vikings. They don't really, if they keep Josh Dobbs and bring back Kirk Cousins, they definitely don't need a quarterback. They probably do need a center, but there's not many good centers in here in the top, even in the top 50, 60 picks. They could potentially take Graham Burton. Just because it says ranked 28 doesn't mean exactly that's what he is. Look at his overall grade last year. This year ain't as great, but it's still better than what he had or actually this is 2023, so this year is actually the worst year in his grade stock, so it's not helping his draft stock entirely. I say that they go with I say that they go with Cooper DeJean. He'd be a great selection for them actually, and they do actually need a DB. So then you got the Cardinals again on the board. You saw here that they took Malik Neighbors at 7, and made a good pick because there's not many good wide receivers on the board left. There's still some great ones, but not elite. They do need a defensive line a lot, and that would be something in this situation if they took. They need an offensive lineman too, but that would be something in this situation if they were to take Leonard Taylor after the Saints trade down the spot after them to take Leonard Taylor. I say that it could happen. They could take him, but I say that they're going to take, and I'm not even going to pronounce his last name, but I say that they're going to take JT out of Ohio State. That might be a good pick for them as well. Then you got the Saints. Of course, they traded down to take their man Leonard Taylor, and they would take him here with number 22 overall pick. Still get their man and a few picks, a pick next year in the 3rd round. So that would be good for them in that situation. Um, it's not that no linebackers could go in the first round. They could. There's just not that many good ones. I could see Barrett Carter, Jemiah Trotter, maybe even Edgerton Cooper go in the first round. Um, Not many. I mean, there's Kalen King, and honestly, here is the Steelers. I either see them taking Kalen King or Terrion Arnold. Gonna go with Kalen King though. He's gonna come and play for the Steelers. For the Texans, we're gonna go with Emeka Egbuka. He already has that connection with C.J. Stroud, and he would just make their offense even more explosive. Number 25, they need a tight end, offensive lineman. Not many good ones left, honestly, but you got Burton. And I'm actually going to, yeah, I could see them actually taking Burton. And Burton goes to the Miami Dolphins and adds to that offensive line for them. Here at the number 26 pick, you got the Dallas Cowboys. Don't really need any receivers. They do need another corner, and honestly, Terrion Arnold could be that guy for them out of Alabama. Then you got the Niners. They also need a corner. I believe Josh Newton would be a good selection for them. The Jags, an edge rusher, Jonah Ellis to the Jags. That could be a good selection for them as well. You got the Ravens, and of course the Ravens, I would see them picking in this situation. Keon Coleman still on the board. I see them taking Keon Coleman. You got the Lions on the board here. I see the Lions. I'd see the Lions taking. Honestly, I see the Lions taking Cameron Kitchens from the University of Miami, and that'd be actually a good selection there. Then you got the Chiefs on the board here. I know it says that they need a wide receiver. I'd see them taking a Donnie Mitchell, and I think that he would be a good fit there as well. Then you got the Eagles on the board. You got three quarterbacks backed up here: Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels, and Bo Nix. They don't really need a quarterback. Jalen Hurts is still young, so all of these quarterbacks would fall out of the first round, and that's crazy because they could go in the first round potentially. They could. But honestly, the Steelers could have picked one. I'd see them picking probably Jaden Daniels, and that's actually crazy because that's the 23rd rank and their 23rd pick. In this situation, though, I'd see the Eagles selecting Xavier Worthy, and you got a Texas wide receiver going back to back. So that would be my full first round mock draft for this week. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you agree with, what you don't agree with, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.